Hey there, start here. So while I wait for my rescued hero Tyvus to reach EX2, I've just got to wait for a few more login shards. And then I'm going to take him and a light team in to finish off Kefka. And he's the final series boss battle, the one that I haven't done yet. And yeah, I really wanted to take him in there. I'm not in any rush, you know. It's not like there's a whole lot to do in this game anymore. And honestly, I feel like once Kefka's done, it's like, what is there left to do? So I'm just kind of taking my time, biding my time on that one. Kefka is essentially the final boss of Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. But while I'm waiting, I figured I would go clean up a few missions that I haven't done against the Wicked Queen Byalcua. So if you've done Byalcua, you know about the Hidden Chamber Byalcua quests, which you use to get extra shards for Sheratan. Sheratan is the free unit that you get just by defeating Byalcua. The unit itself is pretty rubbish. Has a great STMR though, so if you haven't done Byalcua yet and you haven't picked up a Sheratan, he does have a really great STMR with a 100% bug killer, which is very, very nice. But yeah, I mean, other than that, you know, doing all the missions is just it's something to do if you're a completionist or if you're just want something to do in this game. And so I figured I would clean up these last two trials, and I'm going to do two different teams to get them done. So one with Sheratan in the party, that'll be a very quick clear, just using like Wilhelm and Fundamental Force to just absolutely murder it. And then Sheratan just kind of sits there and watches. So I'll do that team, and I'll also do a Season 4 category team, because now that we have Crimson Knight Rain and Tyvus, we can officially power creep it with Season 4 units as well. So I'm going to do both of them. I'll put timestamps in the video, so it'll be two different teams. I'm going to do Season 4 units first, and then the one with Sheratan in the party after that. So use the timestamps to jump around to whichever clear you would like to see. All right. Let's get in there. If you've never done it before, it is a pretty fun trial, but like I said, it has been power crept into oblivion. It was really fun when it first came out because it was very challenging. Not so much anymore, but you know, there still are a few things you got to look out for and account for, even if you want to do a speed clear. So it's in the Hidden Chamber of Arms if you haven't done this before. So you just go to the Nemesis tab all the way to the bottom. Here we go. You follow the red line. There's Sheratan in the crystal. The idea is you want to free Sheratan from the crystal by defeating her sister Byalcua, and that's what we're going to do here. All right, so if you've never beaten it before, the missions are just by defeating Byalcua, you get Sheratan, which is great. And then the other missions for Lapis are deal light damage, no more than 5 items, nobody dies. We are going to get all of these missions done. Both clears are going to be an all missions clear. So we're going to do light damage on both of those. Yeah, and so all missions clear for either one of these teams, whichever one you want to do. I'm going to do the Season 4 one first. So for this one, if you want to follow this clear, it does require a friend unit with a Crimson Knight Rain. Hopefully, you know, you have one on your friends list somewhere. You know, they've hopefully put them up in like event slot 1 or 2 for the bonus. They do not need to be EX1, 2, or 3. They can be an EX0 unit, but hopefully they've at least put like some gear on them. So I'm going to pick this one. You know, not super strong. All they did was basically put a greatsword, which thank goodness they at least put a weapon in their hands. Gave him his TMR and a vision card, and that's honestly all the friend unit needs. Doesn't have to be, you know, super powerful. However, if you are looking for a friend Crimson Knight Rain to take into this trial to do this mission, I have mine set up fully geared for this trial. As you're going to see in just a second, I'll show you the gear. Fully set up in event slot 1. And if you are looking for a friend, hit me up in the comments below. I will add you, and you can use my Crimson Knight Rain to do a Season 4 clear. So my Crimson Knight Rain, not super fantastic. All right, just kind of basic gear. True Lionheart for a high attack greatsword. Ruler's Crown, Emperor's Signet. And then Ring of Conquerors, you actually get this from the current event, the Omega Spawn event. So it's one of the rewards. I think it's like 80,000 or 90,000 points or something. You get this ring, and it's kind of nice. It's like a a budget version of the Magister's Ring, so it does chain limit boost, and Rain does need that, so pop it in there. I've got its STMR equipped there. I love Chocobos for the ailment resist. United is one. That's from the Clash of Will shop for the chain speed boost. Cyclopedia Mythica does 75% demon and insect killer, and you can actually get this from the Omega shop, the Omega Spawn shop. So no excuse to not have it. It is no longer a limited materia. Go and get it. Indomitable Warriors, great for high attack and demon and human killer. All right, and then I just gave him old Flaring Ether Rain's Vision card because it works on him. Why not? If you got a better one, use it. In his Brave Shift form, the only difference is High Class Dagger, which is fairly important for some LB fill. All right, so that's to make sure that his LB is full on turn 4, which is when we're going to kill. This is going to be a 4-turn clear. You got to have his LB filled up, and so having that right there is very, very critical. Okay. So as for the gear for the rest of the party, I guess I should show you. He is maxed out on killers in both forms, demon, human, insect, LB damage, good to go. And that's true in both forms. Runda is, of course, going to be our tank and mitigation expert. So pretty basic build here, nothing too fancy in the gear, but this is going to come in handy. So if you if you pulled for Wilhelm, you should have this card. Even if you didn't pull for Wilhelm, you should have picked up this card. You can still get it. It's still available on a step up. Highly recommend it. Fantastic for this trial because it has, I mean, it's got 4 killers on it for one. Like, that's reason number 1 why you should have this card. And they all ramp up to 250. But it's got demon, human, and insect. Those are the 3 races that line up with Byalcua. So it's phenomenal. So he's going to be loading that up on my Crimson Knight Rain. All right, he's going to be doing that. So do it to whichever Rain is strongest, really. But yeah, we'll get to that. And that's one of Runda's important jobs in this fight. My Tyvus, pretty basic gear: high attack, great sword, TMR, STMR, Cyclopedia Mythica, Mythical Order, also great for the insect killer. So yeah, that is also in the shop, the Omega Spawn shop. No excuse not to have it. True Vampirism, just to give him chain limit boost and LB damage. And then Knights of Boundless Power, you can get this from the VC Select shop, which you can get 2 tickets for from the Omega Spawn shop. So like a lot of this stuff that used to be limited, not so limited anymore. It's the end of service sale. They're just giving away everything. Leftia is pretty critical for a couple of things. Obviously for her fire support, because we are going fire for the most part. Make sure you have her Jet Black Ribbon so that you can do the 100% amp on Crimson Knight Rain on the kill turn. Obsidian Bracer is just to make sure we have breaks for the entirety of the fight and we don't have to worry about it. Otherwise, her gear is pretty irrelevant. Ihana is here obviously for the killers. Just give her like 3 stars and you know, anything that reduces her MP costs, or just give her high MP so she doesn't run out of MP at any point. And that's her main job here. All right. Yep, I think that's good to go there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's get in here, see how we do this, and let's get our Season 4 mission done. All right, blah, blah, blah. We're going to skip all that. If you've never read it before, go read it yourself. I'm not here to read the story. I've already read it. Okay. All right, turn 1. Ihana is going to dish out some killers. All right, human rune on mine, insect rune on mine. Obviously, do it to whichever is stronger. All right, so if your friend is stronger, give the stronger killers to your friend. Okay. Lefty is going to do her LB, which does the mod. Sorry, not mod. It does a full buff, LB damage buff, 35% fire amp, which is great. So Crimson Knight's Rain's normal form LB is locked to fire, which is great. Brave Shift one is non-elemental. All right, so we're going to capitalize on that. So the friend is going to do Shield Crusher, which does 89% defense and spirit break, 40% Great Sword Imperial, awesome. Impending Force, just for some higher attack and mag breaks, all right, 88%. And then we're going to do Elemental Drive, which does our 40% amp to fire. Okay. So Tyvis is just going to use his triple Mirror of Equity skill, Mirror of Equity 0. All right, so it's a two-part skill, but it does basically triple Mirror of Equity frames, which lines up with Crimson Knight Rain's LB, which is fire locked. Okay, so that way we don't have to imbue him. All right, so he doesn't need to be imbued on this turn, but he is amped, which is all we need. Runda's going to do his LB, but we're going to wait. So let's do our... Yep, we're just going to chain these guys up, and even though Tyvis isn't imbued, it doesn't matter. Rain's going to do all the damage here because he's just so OP. Okay, now Runda does his LB. All right, so you only need to do like 7.5 billion because I think Byalcua has 15 billion HP total. So as long as you do 7.5 billion, you're going to hit the 50% threshold without issue. So now what she's going to do is she's going to hit us with some ailments, I think, and she's going to do a couple of those gravity attacks to Runda, which is why you want the mitigation to make sure he doesn't die because. They're not actually gravity. What they are is their HP attacks, and they're like it's like a 150% HP attack. So if you had no mitigation, the first one would kill you, and even at like 50% mitigation, it would kill you because that'd be hitting you for 75% worth of your HP twice. So you got to have like 80% mitigation to make sure you don't die from that. Okay, now what we're gonna do? Runda is gonna go ahead and do. Soaring on Black Wings. He's going to do that to my Rain. Do it obviously on whichever one is stronger. So that's going to start that ramp. We're going to take this turn to kind of set up. We're going to do a little setup turn here. So we're going to do just Kiraga, Isunaga, Veil to boost our ailment resistance. The Friend Rain is going to Omni cover this turn. It's going to do... incremental energy, which is very, very important. That is for the the LB fill. So that's going to help with LB fill because it does 6 LB fill now, and then it does 6 more LB fill every turn for the next 2 turns. So that's going to be important for making sure that we have plenty of LB fill on turn 4. All right, and then he's going to do Fighter of Fire for his mod boost, which is undispellable, thankfully. Okay, Tyvis is going to do Elemental Break Light, which does the 200% light imperil, and that will last for, it says 2 turns, but that means it'll be up on turn 4. Fighter of Light for his LB mod boost, and then we're going to do My Body Might Have Its Limits, which does a mod boost to his Mirror of Equity skill, which we're going to use again next turn. Okay, Rain... My Rain, or whichever one is stronger, is going to do Surpassing Limits Plus, Fighter of Fire Large Sword, and Incremental Energy again for the LB fill. Okay. All right, Leftia. On this turn, I think all she needs to do is like Kiraga, Shelga, Protectica. I think that's all she really needs to do. Okay, so Friend Rain, even though the Friend Rain isn't built like for anything, obviously it tanks all of that just fine. Okay. All right, so now we're going to shift mine. All right, Ihana's going to do her LB, which does re-ups our buffs, which were dispelled, and our killer buffs and everything. All right, so my Rain has the 200% killers to everything, so he's pretty much leading the way. We need to imbue everybody, so all Leftia does here is Flame Garden. All right, Tyvis is going to do Mirror of Equity. Excuse me, man, got something in my throat. All right, the Friend Rain is also going to do the Mirror of Equity move here. Okay, so my Rain is basically just carrying this phase. All right, and that's because we want to save the LB on the Friend unit, because the Friend unit probably doesn't have. Well, the Friend unit definitely does not have extra LB fill to make sure they have their LB for next turn. And they have to have their LB up and ready next turn to kill. Okay? So we're going to send everybody, and then I'm going to send Runda's SLB. Okay, so because his SLB does a 30 LB fill for the party, that's important for my reign. Okay, so let's do it. There we go. All right, Runda does SLB, which does 30 LB fill. So my reign will definitely have a full LB gauge and ready to go on turn 4. Okay. All right. So Ihana is just going to do her LB again to make sure that we have our attack buffs. Also make sure that we have our killer buffs good to go. Okay. So my reign is full. Friend unit is full. So we don't need to imbue the friend unit. We also don't need to imbue Tyvis because his LB is locked to light. Leftia is going to do elemental fire. Let me just make sure. Yeah, that's all she needs to do, really. Elemental power of fire on my reign. That will imbue him and give him a 100% amp. Tyvis will do his overdrive. Okay. So Rain has the 250 killers now. He is going to just like absolutely murder this. And then Tyvis does his LB. So Tyvis has a windup on his LB. And notice we're saving Runda just in case. All right, so Runda can cover if he needs to. All right, but it shouldn't be necessary. So Tyvis does his LB, which has a little bit of a windup. It is locked to light. We still have our huge light in peril. Still have our great sword in peril. He's got killers. We are looking good. But honestly, this fight is pretty much carried by my reign. So you honestly don't even need a resurrected hero Tyvis if you have a strong friend and yours is also strong, you know. So just some things to think about. So from here, 20%, we only need to do 3 billion. So as long as we can do 3 billion damage, we should be good. Let's see how much overkill we do. I think we're going to do a bit of overkill here. Let's see how it goes. Okay. Yeah, all right, so about 1 billion worth of overkill. Nice, nice. All right, well, there's our Season 4 clear for you. All right, yeah, you see, wow. Okay, yep, so Tyvis really didn't do all that much. So obviously Crimson Knight Rain is carrying this fight hard. So Tyvis probably not necessary. The overdrive certainly helps. I mean, you know, can't discount the overdrive there. So even an EX, like an EX0 Tyvis is going to be more than enough for you there. All right. But yeah, there you go. Season 4 all taken care of. Well done. Okay, glad to finally have that one. Thank you for the friend unit there. It was just a random friend unit I found in the event slot there. All right, so that's our Season 4 mission all taken care of. So now let's do one with Sheratan in the party. And this one's just going to be like a super quick murder fest. We're just going to knock it out. I'm just going to grab a decent EX3 fundamental force. That one looks pretty good. The friend unit obviously is not going to have any insect killer, but it should be demon and human. Yeah, so good on demon and human. I'm going to load up my Baya 2. There you go. Yeah, so this one's going to be like a straight up murder fest here. We're just going to get in and absolutely hammer this trial. We're going to get it done in 3 turns with so much overkill that it's not even funny. We're obviously bringing Wilhelm here. He's great for the leader skill as well as for the overdrive. A couple fundamental forces just to dish out damage. We've got Sylvie, who's going to be supplying Demon and Bug Killer, as well as our Lightning Imbue and Lightning Amp for the party. Sheratan is basically going to be just sitting around for most of the fight. He's going to be kind of useful on turn 1, and that's about it. Roberta's here because she does undispellable buffs, which is really nice. So let's take a quick look at the gear. I went fairly easy on the gear here. So Wilhelm, all he has is TMR and STMR equipped. Made sure to give him chain cap boost, and made sure he was 300% on all the killers. So he's good on all the killers. LB damage. Gave him Rains, Flaring Ether Rains, Vision Card. Otherwise, the gear is pretty low on him. So hopefully easy to replicate. Like even an EX2 Wilhelm would be more than enough. Probably an EX1 would also work just fine. All right. Sylvie, her gear is pretty much irrelevant. Yeah, like no one's taking any damage here, so it is what it is. Fundamental Force, again, I went easy on the gear. No clash gear here, just high attack gear. There's Sheratan's STMR with 100% bug killer, which is awesome because Fundamental Force has no innate bug killer, so that's really helpful. United is 1 for the chain speed. Cyclopedia Mythica, again, for the demon and insect killer. Knights of Boundless Power, again, because it's basically a free card now, so go get it. I'm leaving off for EX ability, just in case, although, honestly, you do kind of need an EX3 one on this fight, I want to say. Well, actually, no, you probably don't need. As long as one of them is EX3, either yours or the friend, I think it's fine. I'm going to leave off the EX ability anyways, just in case yours isn't quite as strong for whatever reason. Sheratan, the only thing I gave Sheratan was Dwayne's STMR, so that she can use this ability, Extreme Nova. This is so that she can do some chaining with one of the fundamental forces on turn 1. Okay, and that's it. Oh yeah, gotta give her something to equip swords, so there you go. All right, and that's it. Roberta is basically just a support unit here. I gave her Poppy's paintbrush so that we could satisfy the hitting with light mission, as well as so that she can ramp the chain super fast on the burst turn, because she has a tag chaining move. And so what that's going to do is that's going to tag chain with 7 elements, which means that it's going to ramp the chain in like 2 seconds, if that. So otherwise, that's really all she needs. She doesn't need any kind of killers or anything like that. The rest of the gear is irrelevant. She can be EX. Well, I say she can be EX here. She should be EX2 so that you can use her LB on turn 1. That's pretty much it. The friend, if we look again, it's just a random friend grabbed off the friends list. Obviously, lots of high attack gear. Most people have theirs, geared with lots of high attack gear and everything. But no insect killer, because who's gonna build their fundamental force for an insect killer, just randomly, right? So anyways, you don't need it. You don't need to find a friend built for insect killer. It's perfectly fine. So let's get in here and let's murder this thing super quick. All right. Yeah, we've already seen all that. Okay. Turn 1. Sylvie will do Bolt Egg Basket. She can do Poached Demon on my Fundamental Force. And let's do Marion's Blessing Lightning to go ahead and start that ramp. Roberta's just going to do her LB because she does a 300%, 350 full buff, 300% LB damage buff that is non-dispellable for 5 turns, which is fantastic. Love it. Okay, the friend is going to do Prismatic Field for the field. All right, we don't need to worry about using their mod boost because their mod boosts are dispellable and we get dispelled every turn. So it's completely worthless to do like this. I don't understand why they didn't make the mod boost undispellable. It's pretty irritating. Anyways, then she'll do Limitless Surge because this is undispellable. All right, LB damage buff is undispellable, and Supreme Spectrum, which is also undispellable, so that we can make sure we hit the 20% threshold next turn. All right, Wilhelm is going to Protecting the Weak for the 85% mitt. He's going to Provoke and Siege Strategy for the Spear in Peril and the Attack and Mag Breaks. So the only defense and spirit breaks we're using are coming solely from fundamental force, because she does 85% breaks on her normal LB and then 87% breaks on her SLB, which is more than enough for getting the job done. All right, so let's do it. This should easily hit the 50% threshold without issue. Again, we only need to do 7 billion, and we did, or 7.5. We did 12. That's fantastic. Okay, there's the fractional damage again. But since Willie has amazing mitigations, we don't have to worry about that at all. All right, so on this turn, Sylvie, all she has to do on this turn is just, I've got your back on my fundamental force. That's all she's going to do. All right, we'll do this, blah, blah, blah. We'll do Insect Killer, I think is all we need here. Yep, that should be all we need here. So let's just do Insect Killer. We'll have Sheratan do Isunaga too, just to make sure we take care of all of our ailments. Okay, that should be good. All right, Wilhelm. We'll do Safeguard, Decisive Point Charge for the 150 amps, and Limitless Surge Plus for the 500% LB damage buff. All right, and we're just going to do LBs again, and we should easily hit the 20% threshold from here. Yep. Easy peasy. I think we only had to do 5 to hit it from there. Actually, maybe even less than that. Might have only had to do like 4.5 from there. All right, so Wilhelm does his overdrive. Okay. Sylvie is just going to do Demon Killer on mine, Beat an Insect on mine, and I think that's all you got to do, really. Now we'll just do like Paladin's Offense or something. Okay. And Roberta's just going to chain it up with Mystic Breath, and she's going to ramp the chain for us, which shouldn't take very long at all, and Sheratan can just chillax. All right, so from here again, we need to do 3 billion. We should do pretty massive overkill here. All right, so let's see how we go. Mm-hmm. 7.7. All right, yeah. So we did twice as much as we needed there, more than twice as much than we needed. Okay. All right, and that should have satisfied all the remaining missions. All right. So I have very nearly beaten the game. So yeah. So obviously mine, doing the majority of the damage because mine was built for it. Plus the friend unit didn't even do an LB on the first. Like most of the damage on that fundamental force was just from the first turn. Because remember, we did like 12 billion. So like, if you take 12 billion off that, basically equal with the guest unit there. But anyways, fundamental force just absolutely slaying this thing. Wilhelm dealing, he only did damage on the last turn, so doing 2.7, he almost did enough to kill Byalcua by himself on that last turn. So yeah, there you go. So that should have satisfied. Oh, yep, there it was. I just saw those requirements. So that should have satisfied all my requirements. All right, I'm gonna go and just double check and make sure. All right, let's see what we got. Ah, come on. Load up my quests. Where are my quests? There they are. All right. Excellent. I can now EX3 my Sheraton. I finally have my trophy to show off. Woohoo! EX3 Sheraton. What a useless thing. But anyways, there you go. We've cleaned up Byalcua, and I can now go EX3 my Sheratan. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and EX3 Sheratan just so everybody can see. Where are you? Where are you, Sheratan? There you go. Now I've got all your shards. All right, it's like a rite of passage, right? It's a rite of passage to EX3 your Sheratan. I can now say I've done it, and you guys have all witnessed it. You all, as my witness, have seen me EX3 my Sheratan. Awesome. Oh yeah, well, at EX3 does get the 160 bug killer for the party. Not like we've ever needed that for anything. Great. All right. Well, yeah. Thank you guys for following me. Hopefully this was entertaining, or if you've also been sitting around and waiting to finish up those last few missions for Byalcua, hopefully this helps you or gives you some ideas of how to get it done super quick. Like I said, if you would like a friend, Crimson Knight Rain, he is built for Byalcua, ready to go. In event slot 1, take him in there and wreck it. All right. Thank you guys so much for following me, and I will see you on the other side.